Okay, well, the day has finally come. I am making a tutorial on this channel. I know it's crazy. And it is going to be on the six-pointed star stitch. And so I have found that there are a few different ways to make six-pointed star stitches. And so I'm going to be making videos about each one. But I'm going to start with the easiest today, and that is one that involves 3 pieces of Gimp, a Boondoggle string, folded in half to make 6 strands, 6 working strands. So here is the completed project right here, what it will look like, and then there's what the stitch looks like. And then you can also do a twisted version, which would look like this. Kind of looks maybe a little bit like a tornado stitch, but skinnier. So anyway, it's just it's pretty cool. It's just like an even cylinder, basically, of shape with the colors spiraling. So anyway, you're going to take your 3 pieces of Gimp, find the center of each one. You can ideally going to want to do 3 different colors to make it easier on yourself. Unless you want to do something other than that for artistic reasons, then that's also allowed. And you're going to find the center of each one, and then I like to pinch them at the center like this. And then you're going to want to kind of arrange them in such a way that they're all pointing out evenly in 6 directions, just like this. So as you can see, I've got my tan strand is kind of vertical, and then my green and my purple are both diagonal across it, and then I'm just holding it pinched in the middle, just like this. So once you've got it pinched in the middle just like this, you're essentially just going to just do one of the Star of David stitch, which I will now teach you. But yeah, it will be slightly harder than normal because you have no kind of like backing, but that's basically all you're going to do. So first, take this top middle strand and bring it down, and then you're going to take this strand. Normally we very commonly start with an over when we boondoggle, but for this particular stitch you're going to start with an under. So put that under your first strand. And now, keeping on moving around the circle clockwise, take this strand and go over under like this. And this very bottom intersection between the tan and the kind of purplish color, that's our first of our 6 points that we're going to be making. Now continue moving around clockwise, taking this bottom strand and again go over under, just like this. And now with each strand we're creating another point in our 6-pointed star. Next, this green one, continuing moving around clockwise, is going to go over under. And then with this green one here, we've now reached the point where you're not only going to want to go over under, but you're also going to cross through your very first loop that you made and go and do another under, just like that. And then that leaves us with just one remaining end here before we've worked with all 6. And this last one is the only one that you're going to actually go over, under, over, under. So I'm going to go over the tan, under the green, over the tan, under the green. And then pull it through. And then you would go ahead and tighten it. But as you can see, that is how we're going to make the 6-stranded star stitch. I'm going to go ahead and show just one more time, just so we're kind of clear. So, starting by pinching the strands just like this. First one comes down. Second one goes to start with an under rather than an over. Then continuing moving around clockwise, this third one goes over, under. And then this one right here is going to go over, under. And then this one right here is going to go over, under, under. So over the purple, and then under the tan, and then under the other tan. And then this last one is going to go over the tan, under the green, and then over the other tan and under the other green. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and tighten it. So when I tighten my starting stitch here, you'll notice I'm continuing to pinch that center point still until I have it relatively tight. Right now it's like pretty much as tightened as it can be while still being on my finger. And then slowly pull my thumb out here as I continue to do the final tightening. You don't want to pull super hard, because if you pull super hard, the stitch will kind of collapse on itself, just because it doesn't really have much structure to it yet, because it's only one stitch. I like to do it this way of pinching the stitch so that it remains flat, and then pulling the strings kind of just one at a time. And then now is the point where, if you would like, you can add a finding, like a lanyard hook. I thought that I had grabbed one for this video, but I seem to have lost it. I'm not sure where it went, but let me just grab the one off of here real quick so that I can show you how to do that. This is mainly just, of course, if you want to be making your boondoggle into a keychain. So you'll flip it over to this side where you have those three, and then either with one little end of your O-ring finding, or just with this clip type lanyard hook, carefully get it through those three loops and out the other side, just like this. So there's our hook attached. All right, now actually doing the stitch is essentially the same. It's just like pretty much all other stitches, in that if you want to do the stitch straight, then you bring the strands straight across each stitch, and you alternate between doing the left-handed version of the stitch and the right-handed version of the stitch. Or if you want to do a twisted six-pointed star stitch, then you would just do like the left-handed version only over and over, or the right-handed version only over and over. But anyway, so let's go ahead and do our first stitch. So it's going to be a mirror image of that starting stitch we did, which means that we are going to actually move counterclockwise around the circle rather than clockwise this time. So we'll start with in the same way by bringing the tan straight down, and then we'll bring this moving counterclockwise around the circle. And remember, your first one just for this stitch is always under. So that's going to go under. And then now we're going to go over under with this green. And then I'm going to go over under with this tan. And then I'm going to go with this purple right here. I'm going to go over green, and then under tan and under tan, just like that. And then with this final green strand, I will go over, under, over, under. And then this is what our second stitch now looks like. As you can see, so let me just kind of pull it all nice and tight. All right, I'm going to do one more straight stitch, and then we'll talk about twisting it if you want to twist it. So there's our finished second stitch there. Kind of looks like a little flower. Okay, let's shake it up. Let's do a stitch with the purple as the vertical strands, shall we? So with the purple as the vertical strands, and then remember, now I'm going clockwise because I just barely went counterclockwise. So bring my purple straight down, and then moving clockwise, this tan is going to come under it. And then now this green, over under. Next, this purple, over under, just like this. Now this tan, oops, that kind of got out of the way. This tan, over, under, under. And then this last green, over, under, over, under. So that's an additional straight stitch. Now, if you want to twist it, then of course you will cross the strands rather than bringing them straight across. So if I were to want to start right now, change my mind and say I want to start twisting rather than doing a straight 6-pointed Star of David stitch, then I would look at my stitch that I have right now and I would think, okay, so normally to do a straight stitch I would want to go straight down, and then I would now be doing counterclockwise. But instead I'm going to go clockwise again. And in order to do that, I need to start with kind of a diagonal, just like this, because in the finished twisted stitch, your tan strands are going to be going like that, whereas normally in a straight stitch they would be coming straight across like that. So I'm going to start with that diagonal, and then so now we're doing a twisted stitch. And rather than normally I would always go over first on pretty much all stitches, but not this one. I'm going to go under. And then continuing clockwise, this purple is going to go over under. And then this tan is going to go over under. And then this green is going to go, you guessed it, over under, but then also an additional under, because it's our 5th string. And then this final purple is going to go over under, over under. And there's that. So I guess to review, the steps for doing a Star of David stitch are: first, you just make a loop with a strand. Well, first you determine which direction you're going to be spinning, or whether it's going to be a clockwise version of the stitch or a counterclockwise version. The way you determine that is, if you're doing a straight Star of David, then it's just the opposite of whatever you did last. And if you are doing a twisted Star of David, then you just either do all clockwise over and over and over, or all counterclockwise over and over and over. So anyway, once you've determined what type of stitch you're doing, then you make a loop with that first strand, and then the next strand in your sequence goes under, and then the following 3 strands go over under, and then the next strand over under, and then the next strand over under. And then, sorry, that last one that I just said has an additional under at the end. So it goes make a loop, and then under, and then over under, and then over under, and then over under under, and then over under over under. So again, make a loop, under, over under, over under, over under under, over under over under. That's how you do it in kind of a simple explanation. But anyway, here's what I just made. So I hope that this made sense, my first tutorial ever. And I hope that you guys enjoy making this stitch. I intend to make tutorials for more of the larger versions of the 6-pointed star stitch. So stay tuned for those, and we will see you later.